Before getting into Black Widow, I read that you were discovered at like 13 in Moscow and moved to Paris at 16 to become a model. And since I will never experience being a model, as you can clearly tell, I'm curious, what is it like to move to Paris at age 16 to model? I mean, what is that experience like?
At that age, it's exciting. It's exciting. It's thrilling. It's like, oh, the whole world is changing. I'm part of a fairy tale. I felt like a Cinderella, like an incredible thing that happened to me that was not at all written on my path. Like it couldn't, like if you looked where I come from, you couldn't have predicted that could even happen to someone like me. I'm just so far away from it. Tiny, small town in the south of Ukraine. I mean, it's just, I never traveled, I wasn't part of a wealthy family. We didn't have the means. So normally I should have like been born there and stayed there and died there, so it is incredible. It's incredible that so much. I was excited, of course, when I went, in Paris. I mean, Paris, everyone wants to go to Paris, even if I had failed and had to come back, I would have at least seen Paris. I would have said,
Sure.
well, I've been there on a trip, because my family could have never paid me a trip, to go to Paris. That's for sure.
What do you think might surprise people to learn about the modeling industry that maybe they don't know?
Lots of things. I guess people probably see it as glamorous and and fun. I didn't see it like this, and I never saw it like this. What they would be surprised about is to learn there could be a very lonely experience. I have never felt so lonely in my life as when I was a model. It was constant lonely. I was always by myself, everywhere. Traveling by yourself, packing by yourself, on the plane by yourself, arriving at a strange country by yourself, not knowing anyone, going there for 3 days, leaving, going to another country and nonstop. And that's how you go, by yourself, no friends, no connections, nothing. And I hated it. I hated being lonely. I didn't hate the job itself. It was, it was fun. And I was like, it was fun once I was, again, in the character or like in makeup and like working in front of the camera. That's a fun bit. But the outside of it, traveling and moving and being by yourself and never being able to have a routine, have friends, get together with people, you can, because you travel. You don't have stability. It's so destabilizing. So I don't think people think about it. I didn't deal well with it at all, but let's not get in there. It's a long story. I
Sure.
did not.
I'll leave it there and just say that's so interesting, because I would never think of it like that. And I'm glad you shared that. Jumping into why I actually get to talk to you. Talk a little bit about meeting with Marvel for this role. How did you get involved in this project?
Well, it's an offer that came through, and I thought about it for about 10 years, and then, no, I'm kidding. And I said yes immediately. I thought it was really great. I thought it was cool, and jumped on board.
Did they tell you everything about the character when you got the offer? Or was it more like, we're looking at you for this Marvel project, yeah, just sign me up?
Well, no, there's like the whole, obviously the description that comes through, the visuals, the script. I read the story, obviously then there were discussions with the director, Cate, and then later with my co-stars as well. It's a process. It's a teamwork, and little different bits you discuss with different people, costumes, makeup, you discuss with those departments, and it's slowly you build it up, and like on my side, I was just obviously, trying to concentrating on the humane part of the character that's behind that suit, and to make sure that it's not one-sided and it's not just this killing machine, which seems to be cold-blooded, that there is actually a soul underneath, and there is a character, a person that's suffering and that's gone through a lot, and there is so much that can be explored behind that.
I love learning about the behind the scenes of the making of a movie. Is there anything that you think might surprise people to learn on your side about the making of Black Widow?
Well, yeah, well, the obviously my costume is quite complicated, and I was in makeup for hours in the beginning. Well, in the beginning of each day, it took hours because obviously, without giving spoilers, there's a lot that had to be done with my face and my head and everything, and then the costume that consists of many layers that like had to involve more than like two people. I think there were like three people helping me. It's what else? Well, I had to be a secret, so I was walking through either studios or location wherever we were filming. I had to walk underneath an umbrella that had fabric attached to it on all sides, all the way down to the floor. So, and I was hidden underneath, and I would look where I'm going through like a cut in fabric. And that's how I moved from point A to point B. And that, yeah, I guess people probably do. Well, normally you don't do that. Like I've done other films, I never had to walk under an umbrella hidden. But I think it was such a, we had to keep it secret. So it was a very interesting existence when on set.
I was going to say that's something that Marvel is famous for, is the secrecy, but it also pays off because then it's a surprise to audiences.
Yeah, I know. I think it was worth it. Totally. I'm glad I can't believe we pulled it off. We all kept it, kept it secret, and it worked. I mean, but also like 1 year is a long time, but 2 years, it's incredible. And it worked out. It's still a surprise, and people seem to have no idea who was behind the mask. And so it's great that the secret is the revelation and surprise is working.
You never know with Marvel as to whether or not your character can come back, be in another movie. Have you had any conversations with them about your character being in something in the future?
I think that's a question to Marvel. That's another, one of those things that I just.
I completely get it. I'm going to ask you about something completely different. I'm a fan of Terrence Malick, and you got to work with him a number of years ago. What do you remember about that experience working with him?
Oh, he's a lovely human being, lovely man. It was great working with him, completely different from everything. Like his way of filming, his style is different. And whenever something is different to me personally, I embrace differences and challenges instead of like being afraid of them or shocked by them, because I like challenging myself. And so because it was completely like I've never seen before, to me it was I was completely taken by it, because I like new, I like not knowing. And sometimes there were days where I had no idea how it was going to end. Normally the day's planned on set. We know it's very like scheduled. With him, it's like it's chaotic and it's flowing and things are spontaneous, and it's another way of doing a movie. It's a completely different way, but it's also possible. And I loved his style. I loved his way. I love the silences, and yeah, I'll never forget that moment. You make me think of him. I should text him. We're still in touch. We text each other, and he's like, how are you? He's like, we kept in touch. He's such a great guy. We always like ask each other about how it's going. So yeah, I need to text him now.
Yeah. The thing that's interesting about him in his films is that so many actors I've spoken to that have worked with him, they'll work for a while on a project, and then they could be in the movie for 30 seconds, or they could be in the movie for an hour. There's no way of knowing until they see it.
That is true. And I did make a joke. I asked him, I said, look, Terence, I know the deal. I said, look, you've filmed me for hours. I know, but I also know that I can. I said, did you cut me out? I said, are you cutting me out? He's like, no, you're gonna be there. You're gonna be there. Yeah. I said, okay. Well, let's see the result. And then like, wow, okay, he actually didn't cut me out. So yeah, that was it was a pleasant surprise. But yeah, I was expecting it. Believe me, I knew. But you know what? Even if he had cut me out, I swear to you, I would have never regretted it. I just loved. I mean, the result is something else. It's like another thing, but there's also the experience. There's the result and the experience of movie, and sometimes they can coincide. They can both be great, or they can both be bad, or one can be great and another not so great, or vice versa. And with him, the experience was amazing and worth it. Even if the movie never came out, just that I lived through those days with him, surrounded with his crew, doing those things, getting into the psychology, it was worth it. And it was only my growth in my life, and it was good for me as a person. And I value that, and that's all that matters for me.
On that note, I need to stop. I'm just going to say congratulations on Black Widow, and thank you so much for giving me your time.
Thank you.